Thank you for making this game. I don't know. Hi, I'm Benny. I'm a judge. Well, round one is Bureaucrat's judgment. Let's clock in. Let's start the timer clock in. All right. Vigilance, obedience, austerity, it says on that sign. Titan Industries, build the future now. This is cool, pixel art. This is all custom. This is great. Coffee. Oh wow, this is very impressive. Martin stepped out into the rain, clutching his umbrella. He was running late. He hoped the bus was similarly behind schedule in the soggy morning. Commute to work. Goal. All dice. Oh, dice rolling. I love dice rolling. Let's go. All dice above 1. Challenge 1-6. Roll the dice and see how Martin's luck pans out. Achieving the goal. Achieve I before E. Won't be docked points for that. I'm just giving notes. Results in a basic success. Alternatively, risk the challenge for even better results. Failing a check is not the end. Fail forward. Yeah, okay. So it seems like this game is influenced by games I love. I am biased towards this type of game. Disco Elysium, what's the other one? Citizen Sleeper. What else is there? I mean, obviously D&D, but this idea of failing forward is always really good to see in games like this, because it kind of indicates an intention to make the failure state just as interesting as the success state. So they're kind of encouraging us not to like save scum and to like try and get the quote-unquote correct answer to these choices. So let's go. Commute to work, all dice above 1. What items can we change? Anything? Martin's trusty and well-used pen. Office supplies were monitored. I don't know. Okay, so even if you take it off, it doesn't seem to do anything. Basic button down. I don't know if I want to take off my clothes. Well, I technically am. It really makes no statement. It's a plain tie pocket, and it's like a snow globe in those pockets. Very good, very good. Oh, okay. There's a simple luck check. Martin's luck competency is 2. This means he can re-roll a die 2 times after the initial roll. There should be an I before the T there. No points docked. Don't worry. It's not a penalty. I'm just noting. I'm a proofreader at heart. Checks will use different competencies. Martin may find items that influence his competencies. Okay. Martin rolled a 1-1-3, so that comes up to a 5. All dice above 1. Challenge 1-6. 2 reroll. Well, of course, if I keep this, there are 2 dice that are not above 1. So the goal is I need to reroll this one here and reroll. The thing is, okay, so I'm beginning to sense a trade-off happening, because if we got 2 rerolls per roll, then shouldn't it automatically re-roll the failing things? But it makes me think that re-rolls are like a currency between choices, but if they're not a currency between choices, then I don't see why we wouldn't automatically just re-roll the ones that are failing, unless we want it to fail. That's also a possibility. But we'll see how the game goes. Performance evaluation, all dice above 1. We failed. Wait, what? We exceeded expectations? How's Benny Judge's games going? Welcome in, Zeriab, welcome in. I'm doing well. This game so far is, actually looking impressive. And it's in a genre that I really bias to. How are you doing? What are you doing today, Zeriab? How's your project been going? It's been a long time since I've played Desecrators. A long time, but how's that going? And how's your general life going? Martin saw the bus approach and he exhaled. He'd made it. Out of the corner of his eye, he caught a shimmer. He looked down and saw a pen laying in the gutter. He picked it up. It was a little worse for wear, but still functioning. The thing is that when it said exceeded expectations for this result, I'm pretty sure I didn't roll all above 1, so why did it exceed expectations? Martin acquired the gutter pen. Okay. Items can be equipped in the menu. Pens offer special abilities for influencing the initial roll. Okay. Different pens, they influence the initial roll, apparently. Okay. Martin shook water off the umbrella as he stepped into the office. Piper was already at the front desk and waved eagerly. Good morning, Martin. Okay. I was going to make a game like this in a black and white office sort of thing, drab life. So I'm also biased to the aesthetic. I must admit, there are a lot of biases that are taking place in this, but also on an unbiased level, look at all this fantastic, these tiles. I wonder if they're custom. Doing well, thank you. We'll work on my game today. We released version 1.0 last day of February. Oh, it's not in It's not in early access anymore. It's 1.0. That's awesome. Well done. We really need to play it now. We need to get some people together to play it. Hopefully, I'd like to hear more about that release soon. But it's awesome. That's awesome work. I better focus on this game a little bit. Banners were a new installment mandated by popular will. Vigilance, obedience, austerity, the vice office of analytics' second namesake, hardly sound popular to Martin. I see. Yeah, I've started using Unity as well, Zeria, but nowhere near the level that you're using it, which I'm just starting. I also love the aesthetic. The aesthetics of this game is amazing. Filing cabinet full of pending work. Martin dreaded it arriving on his desk. A photo of the new Prime Minister. Oh, Prime Minister. Seems British. In the top cabinet, Martin found a first aid kit. Never bad to have that on hand. Acquired. Okay, first aid kit. Sure thing. Management. It's been weeks since Martin had last heard a word from management. Now it's just daily memos left on his desk. Outline VOA. What does VOA stand for? Oh, that's right. We just said earlier. Latest shifting agenda. Sound of papers. We knocked, by the way. Welcome in, doggo. Welcome in. How you doing, doggo? What's up today? The sound of papers shuffling could be heard through the door, but no one answered. Okay. So we got our stuff. Oh wait, we could equip the gutter pen. Is that better? Trusting while use pen. Automatically subtracts 1 from each die. I don't think we need that right now. I don't know if we need to go high. Unity is good fun. Yes, it is indeed. It is. When it's working with me. Julia's desk. The other survivor of the office purge. Whoa. Oh, you've been layoffs. Oh no, that's very sad. She always arrived as late as allowed. Martin wondered how just 2 of them could keep up with the workload. Well, now it's just you. This feels very relatable to someone who has had experience in the workforce. Isaac's desk, former desk more accurately, his voice had boomed through the entire office. It had been impossible not to listen. Now Martin found he missed it. Yeah, the very thing that you kind of like, you thought that was annoying becomes the sound that you want to hear because you're like, well, at least life is better than no life, you know? He noticed something beneath the desk. Why don't we check it out? Kneel down, reach on the desk, pull out a small, squishy ball. Isaac's stress ball. You could recall the veins bulging on Isaac's forehead whenever we were dealing with a difficult case. We got the stress ball. We got, can we equip that? So this is always useful in an emergency. Increases collaboration competency. Okay. We'll keep cool under pressure. We'll do the service competency instead of pocket lint. Wait, did that increase out? Oh, okay. So that one, collaborate, service. I don't know what each of these do. I guess they're like skills in a D&D or TTRPG. This is like a TTRPG type game. We have skills and you check against them using a roll of a dice. Roland's cube. Empty now of Roland's kitchen clutter. Yeah, everyone's getting laid off. Roland had been a new hire who proudly announced his vote for the popular will. His termination notice came a week after they took power. You know what? This is hitting kind of close to home because I recently got made redundant after 5 years of work on December. So yeah, I am very much aware of this part of corporate life. I am now unemployed at the moment, living off redundancy pay, and I will have to get back to work soon. But that's where I'm at the moment. So this is very relevant to me. Oh, that's why the game's called A Bureaucrat's Judgment, because it's about bureaucracy and the judgment to I guess, lay off all their employees. Martin noticed a pen sitting on the shelf in the cubicle. He took it. Roland would be needing it now. It's the jotter. Okay, the jotter. What does the jotter do? Adds 1 to each die on initial roll. We like that. So the pens seem to modify rolls in general. The accessory seems to modify your stats. Maybe the rest of them do. What I like is that you're already giving us like options between what equipment to like hold and to wear, and that's really important. And they're not like options like, oh, one is better than the other. It's like, well, they'll be better in different scenarios that we're going to see soon. The office coffee pot, that's an awfully hot coffee pot, was nearly empty with yesterday's coffee. Martin dumped it out and started a fresh batch. Okay. Martin didn't dare open the fridge. He still remembered the last time. You can run. Hey. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Welcome in, Bimlab. Welcome in, Wrath of Wood. Thank you for the raid. We're just playing A Bureaucrat's Judgment. I've been yapping a little bit, so I'm just going to add like a couple minutes to this. But yes, welcome in, Wrath of Wood. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. We're just playing and judging RPG Maker games. What were you doing, Bimlab? Have a little seat, have a little rest. Don't feel obliged to like interact if you don't need to, because I know streaming is tough, so you can just leave if you want to, but you can stay if you want to as well. Just I know streaming's tough, so please enjoy yourself and just rest and have a good time. We are judging. Are you just doing some pixel art? That's awesome. That's awesome. We're just judging RPG Maker Game Jam entries. So this is a really good one so far. I hope you had a good time doing pixel art. Yeah, was it for a particular thing or was it just in general? I'm very, very happy that you rated, and thank you so much. Just enjoy yourself. Martin arrived at his desk. The dreadful pile of paperwork seemed to have doubled overnight. I think we'll get to work. Making a sprite pack? That's awesome. That's awesome. For sale or something, I'm guessing, or just for people. Either way, that's really, really useful, and that's cool. That's awesome. Enjoy yourself. It's good to have people here. First in, first out, Martin thought to himself. Okay, we're doing work now. Martin pulled the top file of his desk. A budget analysis from the Office of Budgetary Oversight of the IRE Departments. The sticky note said it read it ambiguously. Top priority, management. Okay. He took a sip from his coffee mug and spat it back. Yesterday's cold coffee. There was no helping it. He'd best start looking over the budget report. What was the best approach? Highly animated wagging tail asset pack. Wow, that's that'll be useful for animals and doggies, I guess. I mean, animals in games are perfect. I mean, I'm a cat after all, so. Review the OBO's budget analysis. All dice under 5? I kind of wanted to... Okay, maybe we should have equipped the other pen. Oh, wait, the challenge is total above 13. I see. Maybe in that original check, I got the challenge instead of the goal, and that mattered more, and we exceeded expectations. I see now. Well, we'll just go focus on the details, I guess. Best to wait in the weeds. These details will be key to understand the case. Oh, okay. Total above 13. So the average roll is 10.5. So we need like an average of like 2.5 or higher. If we can. Oh, what I don't like is when I come out of it, it automatically rolls, to be honest. I would like, if I came out of it, to go back to the previous menu, because I kind of want to switch between the equipment and the check to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. But that's just because I'm, ADHD and I don't memorize things well. But that's just my opinion anyway. Go back to the previous menu we were at instead of progressing. The jotter automatically increases all dice by 1, all dice under 5. So we're going for the challenge, I'm guessing. The total above 13, what's our total? It needs to be above 13, so we need to reroll the 2. We need to reroll the 2 again. Oh, man. Below expectations. This is a perfect implementation of the theme. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. His desk phone rang. Martin looked at the clock, 9:01 a.m. The office was open to public. He picked up the receiver. I think the writing is really good as well. I think it's pretty much every aspect of this game is impressing me so far. Piper's voice chirped. Ms. Reyes would like a word with you. She's a resident at the Airy Apartments. From the Airy, that didn't bode well. Martin replied, go ahead and send her back. It's not very often you get like a very mature story told through RPG Maker like this. He watched the woman approach, anxiety carved on her face. She clutched a flyer in one hand. He greeted her, introducing himself and offering her a seat. What can I do for you, Miss Reyes? It's custom tiles for sitting in all 4 diagonal directions. I don't know if this is like not an asset pack, and if this was created for this jam, that is beyond impressive. I don't know. This whole thing is impressive. Please, just Lucia, thank you for seeing me. I think there is some mistake. We received this notice that the area is being closed down. She extended the flyer towards Martin. He glanced over it. Notice to all residents. This property is being closed. Vacate by Friday. Thank you. Vice Office of Analytics, VOA. Oh, so this is Vice Office of Analytics. This is us. Setting sprites are the hardest? Yeah. I mean... I said yeah, but I have no idea. I haven't done them before, so I can only judge based on what you do. Cool thing about isometric is to draw 4 directions. You only need to draw 2 and mirror them. That is actually true. That is true. But mind you, that's the same with... I was going to say the normal is orthogonal, but no, you have to draw it forward, back, and then you can mirror the left and right. Also, diagonal is hard, so there's a double extra hard. Yeah, I have no idea about that, but I'll trust you, Rotherwood, about that one. because I've never tried to draw diagonal sprites. I just assume that it's hard. Another piece clicked into place for Martin. VOA, he frowned and looked up at Lucia. How should he respond? VOA had gone over the housing authority's head on this, but it appeared to be the one who had to deal with it. It actually looks really great, and I'm wondering whether these are all original tiles, because if they are, within a month making all these tiles is actually very impressive, because there's more than this scene. There's several scenes. The Anxious Resident, all dice under 4. Narcotis, we're playing like a Disco Elysium type game, and I am trying not to be as biased as possible because this is a Disco Elysium game, a mature story about corporate stuff, using dice, and it's about the drab reality and how it runs you down. And these are things that I make my game about. So it's very biased, and I'm trying not to be biased because this is just, very close to me. So the Anxious Resin, all dice under 4. Seems like this is like a person who I would work with. It's like a very Benny game. All dice under 4. Challenge 3 6s. I really don't think I get 3 6s, so we'll try and get all dice under 4, really. I'm afraid it's not a mistake, Ms. Ray. Sorry, Lucia. Let me try to explain. Time to see what he'd taken away from his review of the budget analysis. So what we do is we equip to go low, automatically subtract 1 from each die. We take our clothes and tie off, apparently. And, wait, first aid? Yeah, let's do the first aid. Wait, maybe... I don't know if we're collaborating here. I can't remember. That's the thing, because we can't go back and check because we already saw that, yeah, increases collaboration competency. No, we're gonna just have nothing except the gutter pen, I think. Reduces all dice by 1, all dice under 4. Rolled a 5, 2, and a 4. Re-roll the 5. Oh, come on. Not good enough. Wow, why did we roll so high when we didn't want to roll so high? Oh my goodness. Martin launched into a rambling explanation of the stats and figures. We failed again. Detailed in the report, he didn't feel he had a good grasp on the details. Lucia frowned and misspoke. I just realized there's going to be like different options if you fail and succeed. Yeah, this is really good. As Martin finished, Lucia did not hesitate. The area is more than numbers. We are people. Martin's job was to represent the agency. Where and when was this game jam, and who do I have to follow to get notified by such events? I'm so sorry that you didn't get notified. I don't know the full marketing strategy of the RPG Maker Game Jam. There were like over 1,000 interests in it, but do follow the official RPG Maker pages, because this is an official RPG Maker game jam hosted by RPG Maker and Gotcha Games and all that sort. So follow the official Twitter, RPG Maker Twitter and web Twitter and all their channels. I think it was posted on all their channels, so that's probably how. No, it wouldn't be on the Steam page. It would have been good if it was on the Steam page. But yeah, it's an official jam. Welcome in though, Super Stinker. How's it going? It was a month-long jam, so... Martin paused a moment and said, unfortunately, while it may be difficult to understand, the housing subsidy you receive has been found too much of a burden for the government to maintain. But also welcome in. How you doing, Super Stinker? It's very good to have you here. I am one of the judges. Or any RPG Maker community, sometimes they share the post. Yeah, there was quite a few RPG Maker communities. Not all, but a few, quite a few. That all said, the notice you received came from VOA, not us. The housing authority has final jurisdiction, and until you receive a notice from us, it's not official. I'm still reviewing the case and will notify you of your final action. For the moment, you can disregard that notice. I'm just going to say, the writing here is just natural and really unshowy, but like really good. Like I'm not even cringing, which to be honest is better than I can say for most writing. It's sometimes the best you can ask is just not to cringe. Lucia started to say something, stopped, then got up. She turned back and said, we are a community doing our best. Please just come and see the people that your decision affects before you finalize it. Super Stinks says, thanks for the information. Unfortunately, I don't like using Twitter. Oh yeah, it's on Blue Sky as well. Blue Sky as well, if you're not into Twitter. Hopefully next one will be on Steam pages. Yeah, maybe. Or even just the official website. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, great to have you here. And if you want to get hooked in, sometimes you have to, be part of the socials if you want to get notified of stuff. Martin replied, I plan to do just that, Miss Reyes. A building inspection is required before any final adjudication can be made. I should be by tomorrow. Itch has a ton of jams if you want jams. Yeah, Itch has a lot of jams. So if you want to join some, that's another thing. There's plenty of jams. So just search on itch.io. Or actually, there's also a lot of communities that you can join, RPG Maker communities, and they have a lot of stuff, you know, announcements and stuff that you can join. Benny's Discord. Please send me the money. Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't set up my Discord for any real activity, so it's kind of a little bit inactive at the moment because I am sort of inactive. I'm just being a solo developer at the moment. And yet again, I'm blabbing, so I'm going to add a couple minutes to this playthrough. But yes, it's very good. Welcome back, Bim. Hope you had a good rest. Maybe had a bit of got a bit of bite to eat or something. I don't know. But I did share the RPG Maker Jam announcement. Yes, that's true. That is true. I do some announcements. Martin looked back down at the budget report on his desk and top priority memo. VOA was behind this, and while it was true the housing authority had actual jurisdiction, it felt like the decision had already been reached. You did get food? Nice. Used to make lots of games with RPG Maker, being social ain't my strength. Yeah. Also, at the same time, while, like, you know, I don't beg anyone to be social because I know that it's hard, you know, especially for game developers, that there can be, you know, complications around that. But if you do want to get notified of game jams, you might have to, and that's the trade-off. So yeah. Oh, trust me, that ain't any RPG Maker dev strength. Yeah. Try and find the community that works for you, because not all communities work. Some communities are kinda bad. Yeah, so just find the one that works for you. For the moment, he needed to stretch his legs. I will shout out a creator. There's one creator I love very much, and many people know him, Riggy2K3 and his community. There's no stranger that I'm such a close friend with Riggy2K3, so if you do want to pop into Riggy2K3's Discord, just follow that, go to that Twitch page. He's probably, I mean, there's many great creators, but at the moment, I'm just going to be biased and say he's my number one favorite RPG Maker creator. So go and follow him and check out his stuff. I'm biased. A bad RPG Maker community? Yeah, sometimes, in my opinion. And I'll add another minute to the pot because chat is chatty today, and I am also chatty. I feel like chatting. Don't feel bad. I also feel like chatting. But this game deserves my full hour, and I want to. Oops. Oh, I skipped it. My bad. Martin looked over his shoulder. Julie continued now, how you're right. I should keep my voice down. One of those VO goons is in management right now, but it's just absurd what they're doing. Okay. So this is like a trade-off maybe between like keeping quiet about like what you feel about a company just because you want to sort of keep your position, or speaking up. You're right. I should keep my voice down. I guess I'll agree with her. I don't know what the difference is with changing the topic. I mean, I'll be honest, I'll agree and I'll commiserate with the employee anytime before I try to like, anyway, what you say is like a bit invalid, so I'm going to agree with her. It's frustrating. I don't know what I'm going to do with this Avery case. I don't know if there's any option. Okay, so that's what they meant by agreeing that it's frustrating instead of agreeing to shut up, basically. I don't know if there's any option other than to rubber stamp the eviction. I mean, commiseration within the company. I'd get fired over that. Oops. I need to press play. Okay, I think everything's evened out. Without actually knowing what we do, and they don't actually want to do our jobs. She looked past Martin, then looked towards the window and said loudly, "Looks like the rain slowed down." Martin took the cue. Sure does. Softer again, Julia said, "Hey, I think I'll grab a drink after work. You should join me." "Yes, please." I am romance pilled in visual novels, so if you give me any hook to like, you know, be, you know, relationally obligated to someone, I will. Martin replied, "Yeah, that might work. Let's see how the rest of the day goes." Julia gave a sharp nod. Back to it. Yeah. It's a hint that Benny plays romantic visual novels. As Martin approached, Piper flagged him. "Management wants to see you." Martin nodded. Now they wanted to talk. Okay. Martin, we're gonna talk with management? Knock, they can wait? We'll knock. "Come in," came a voice through the door. This looks like The Office. You know, Ricky Gervais's character, and then you got the, what's it called, that Gareth behind him, the assistant to the regional manager type deal. But it's funny. Martin entered the office. His manager, Dana. Oh, but this is the manager. Oh, yeah, the manager sat at his desk looking down. In the corner, another man, barely more than a teen. Okay, this is a teen instead. Reclined against a shelf, a smug look on his face. What happened? You wanted to see me, Martin said. Dana looked up. Ah, yes, Martin. How's the work coming? Always so busy around here, isn't it? It's your fault, Dana. You fired people. Yeah, always more to do. I assume you want to talk about the Avery case? Martin said, the Avery case that doesn't immediately come to mind. But we can talk about it if it's on yours, replied Dana. Is that reframing it to be your idea? Man in the corner spoke. Ah, yes, I assume that closure can be wrapped up with no issue. Go along with them, push back on the denial. Let's push back on the denial. Because, like, why not? What am I going to do? Lose my job and make your company have to hire someone new? I'm not sure closure is the appropriate action. I don't see how it aligns with policy. Policy, came the reply, drenched with irony. Policy is the whole problem with you government types, always hiding behind it so you don't have to work. Wait, who was the reply, from the boss or from that guy? He continued, I think it's the boss. You've seen the OBO analysis. This project is the definition of waste. Dumping hundreds of thousands a year into some building so degenerates don't have to work. Quit now, really. I mean, I maybe I have the privilege of living in a country that isn't so, you know, corrupt. Maybe that is. It's still corrupt, but like not as corrupt as this, you know. There's a mandate. The people are done with these handouts to those who drink from the government faucet. Ugh, I don't like that language. Gross. So you should be asking yourself, are you with the people's will or against them? I don't understand what my choice is here, though. I'm with the people's will. I'm with the people. I'm guessing with the people is the more like rebellious option, because this is like, I'm with the people's will is like you're agreeing with them, but I'm with the people is like you're disagreeing. So I'm just going to be full rebellious. Good, so figure out the policy and get it done, the man replied. Martin nodded and looked at Dana. Anything else you need to see me before? No, I think you're doing great work. Keep it up. Martin turned to leave when the man in the back added coyly, and be sure to report any fraud or waste you see around the office. We need to know who is on board. Remember, friend, vigilance, obedience, austerity. I'm not gonna copycat him like, you know, like I'm chanting a cultist chant. It seems like to me like the top option is like the office, like cultish option or the agreeing option, and the bottom option is the one with any form of rebellion to it. So Martin spent the rest of the day reviewing the Avery file and closure policies. Tomorrow he'd need to conduct a property inspection. It finally came time for him to clock out. Julia called him as he passed time. The lamp at 7 p.m. sound good? Of course I'm meeting Julia at the bar. See you there, Martin replied. He headed home, showered, and left to meet Julia. Oh my goodness. This pixel art is... Well, that wall is very impressive. And because like usually a tile that's as busy as that looks too busy, but somehow it fits. Might be the limited color palette, but it might be a bit busy around this area because you can't really see the bottles too well, but like it looks really nice. And then, you know, the perspective with these signs and the why is there a lamp in here? I'm guessing this is just like decor, like some stylized decor. Martin descended the stairs into the cool basement. The lamp was a dim, mildewy cellar, ooh yuck, which slightly made it for a dungeon-esque atmosphere by having a decent selection of craft beer. Now, when they say mildewy, is it like actual mildew and mold, or is it like, oh, it has the scent of mildew? Well, I mean, that would indicate mildew, wouldn't it? At the end of the bar, he could see Julia sitting, glowing in the eponymous light of a street lamp that the owner had somehow... Okay, I just need to Google what eponymous means. Ah, turns out you need a Y in there. Eponymous. Eponymous. Of a name giving their name to something. Oh, it's like the titular. Like, named after a particular personal group. Oh, so it's like the titular... Oh, no. Titular means it's in the title. Eponymous means it was named after a person. Oh, okay. So in glowing in the eponymous light of a street lamp, the owner had smuggled... Oh, okay, so this is like the whole theme of the bar. It's called... I forgot what it's called. It must be called like Street Light or something. Okay. Let's save. A man was clearly drunk. He grabbed Martin's hand and pressed a thin wooden object into it, slurring, "Looks like you need this more than me." Martin pulled away and looked at the object. He held a pencil. "Well, yeah, I need a pencil, of course." Offered it back, shook his head. "Wow, what does the pencil do?" Eponymous. Yeah. Can change the results of one die into a random number. Isn't that just a reroll? I think it's a free reroll, isn't it? Well, let's just... we can always change our accessories before a... I was going to say fight, but before a roll, right? Julia looked up at Martin, waved to the seat across from her. "I took the liberty of ordering us a pitcher." Martin took a seat and poured himself a glass. After a minute of small talk, Julia leaned in and said, "This VOA situation is a problem, right?" "Yeah, a major problem. VOA is making decisions without consulting the people who had to do the work. And on top of that, downsizing the workforce itself. This Irish situation was on the tip of the iceberg." What I will say is that it's perfect. The choices work. It's a binary choice usually, which is an obvious choice though. That's the only thing that's kind of maybe a bit straightforward about this game, is that there's two obvious choices, and one is I love the company and one is I don't love the company. And I love people instead. And I like it. It's a good choice because it makes it clear to me as a player what I'm choosing between. That's probably the first obstacle of Choices Matter games that I think should be overcome, is that there should be a clear line between choice and consequence. If I choose this, I should know that it feels somewhat like this. And this causes the problem that sometimes people bring up, which is where, oh, I said something and then they said something completely different, or they meant something completely different, and the reason is that second part, the choice meant something different to what the player perceived it to be, regardless of whether the actual words spoken were different or not. So yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch, but that's a little bit of a tangent rather. So making those choices really clear, I think this game has succeeded in that. The second layer, after making the choices clear, is making perhaps they are not completely linearly obvious. Oh, this is that route and this is that route. Maybe it works for the game jam though. Like within the scope of the game jam, having two binary, like good and evil opposites is fine, because then you have the rolling to see if you succeed or fail on top of that, which works well. But yeah, in future, if you were to expand a game like this, I would love to see the exploring of the expression range to accommodate various complex and mixed sort of views through different statements, so that you could monitor different things at the same time. But in a game that's short like this, maybe it's a bad idea to do that. I'm just making it clear that that's why it could end up seeming a little simple if it's just one choice or the other. A little rant. I will add another minute to the game. VOA was making decisions without consulting the people who had to do the work. And on top of that, downsizing the workforce itself. This Airy situation was only the tip of the iceberg. Martin groused about what they were doing to the Airy. What does groused mean? Martin complained about something trivial. Grumbled. Okay. How he felt he had no choice but to go along. Julia listened, observing him carefully. After he finished, she took a sip of her beer, then said, "Let's do something about it." But what could be done? Conspiracy afoot. All over 3 or 3 of any kind. We do have a collaborate thing, so let's use collaborate. 2 heads were greater than 1. Let's change our items to be collaborate. Stop, collaborate, endless. And let's put on our clothes, why not? Let's use the pencil. Yeah. The pencil can randomly change the result of 1 die of choice. Okay, so... Oh, 3 of any kind. We've got 2 of a kind. We could turn this one into a... Try and turn it into a 3. Oh, 3, 3, 3! There we go! Keep results. We exceeded expectations. Yay! They dove into brainstorming, each building off the ideas of each other seamlessly. I believe it's SEAM, like a seam of a, when you're sewing something without seams, you know, so it's not, the seams aren't visible. The first pitcher of beer drained, and the second one after it. Martin's head became bubbly, and he was sure their plan could not fail. Julia laughed. I think it's a good plan, but maybe that's just the beer. Julia looked at her watch. Oh my, it's quite late and you've got a lot to do tomorrow. We should call it a night. Martin agreed, but asked her to summarize it once more. Julia said, it'll be up to you to gather as much information as you can during the inspection. Make sure to get resident stories and anything that paints VOA trying to close the place in a bad light. I'll reach out to my old friend who works in newspaper. Gotta say, I just love the writing. I can't, what's it called? Disguise it. It's just very good writing. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's to the point. Sometimes, I think Narcotis can also know this about me, I can tend to overwrite, and then I need to rewrite to make it less overwritten. That's one of my weaknesses, but it can also be a strength to overwrite stuff, but it's storytelling like this that you don't be over flowery about everything. That's what makes me impressed by it. Don't get me wrong, I also love flowery narratives, that's styles, that's why I write in that style quite often, because, I mean, Disco Elysium and such, and Umaneko, they're very flowery, and I just want to be like that, but you have to get the basics right, and I don't know, we'll see if I do, I don't know. Anyway, but this is nice and simple, that's what I'm saying, nice and simple words, to the point, and very functional, and it keeps the momentum going. I like all that. Jalmatic 5000. The conspirators split the tab and head to their respective homes. Okay. Martin woke, rose from bed, not dressed. He would head to the Aerie today to his inspection, but first he needed to pick out an outfit. Okay. Dang, this is just like my game. Pick an outfit to like... Yeah, this is... But mind you, this is because my game's inspired by... what's it called? Disco Elysium, which does clothes and stats. Too many books. Would there ever be time? Public speaking a primer that could come in handy. Okay. Well, the thing is because I got this nice collaboration thing, so I'm min-maxing on the collaboration, I'll be honest. Just in case it pops up, you know. It's nice to be at least... Oh, communication competency. If I'd seen that before. Oh, well. It's nice to be at least min-maxed in one thing. Maybe I should have made it in a thing that I don't have yet, but oh well. Okay, I got it. I gotta admit, using the toilet in a game like this is just a little immersion breaking, because everything else is so serious, but... Like that's a thing, is when it's when everything is like perfectly immersive. Everything in this game up till now has been perfectly immersive, except for the fact that, oh, I can crap whenever I want to. It's a minor complaint, but it is sadly, in most games it wouldn't be immersion breaking, because it's oh sorry, the timer is going, it just wasn't updating because it wasn't on top, but most games it wouldn't be a thing, you know. But in this game, the immersion is so strong that even such a small thing can break it. In the entryway, two paintings hung. A grim-looking painting of a strange shadowy shape rising from the ground. An old castle barely visible under a starless sky. It was raining outside. What a surprise. He grabbed a snack bar to go from the pantry. Above the counter, he had hung a couple paintings. Train approaching a station shrouded in moonlight, a flame burning brightly, a cat, dog, spirit, and robot embarking on an adventure together. Very cute. Martin didn't want to take the time to cook anything today. Fridge was kept in slightly better condition than the office's. Still, he didn't want to look inside. It's also good to have like descriptions that that are like short enough but informative about the life, but not like overly like bang it over your head type thing. Paper was open to the classified section. Martin had circled several job postings in different colors, picked up a pen that lay atop of paper. See, this is like a matter-of-fact description, but it does tell something that Martin's looking for a job, even in the midst of his current job, which means he is dissatisfied. It's an indication that he is possibly dissatisfied with his current job. And we get a multi-pen as well, which... Well, the Jalmatic was Change results to an odd number and then multi-pen is an even number. Fireplace needed cleaned out before it could be used. Okay. See, even that, sorry, that was even that is like, I think that, see, that sort of indicates that he's living by himself. And of course he doesn't use his fireplace because he's all alone. So it's just like a very subtle detail. And it's not obvious. It's just like, oh, the fireplace needs cleaning out. Of course they do. But it's like, wait, when would he ever need to use a fireplace? It's like he's barely home, you know, or whatever. Or maybe he just doesn't need it because when you live by yourself, you just don't need to, you know, clean a fireplace. I don't know. It's just how things happen. Oopsie, I washed my hands like 3 times today. Oh, let's wait. Had he turned off the stove? It's such a funny thing to say when you're leaving. Yeah, we did turn off the stove. Martin headed out into another rainy day, for sure. See, look at this awesome, these awesome tiles. The only thing that looks a little out of place is the fans. But hey, everything else looks perfectly in place to me. Oh, I think I recognize these graffiti. Are these from like a pack? I don't know. But like the usage of everything, it looks edited in a certain way, like to bold the outlines. But even that is like really, really clever. Martin strolled up to the Eyrie, an old structure built decades past. Its thick concrete slabs remembering a distant era. Martin couldn't recall if he had ever been to the District 7 before, a side of the city best forgotten. The inspection was mandatory, but policy was vague on what exactly inspection entailed. He looked down the block and said about it. Okay. Let's sit about this block. Martin carefully stepped around the trash bags. The smell of rot emanated. He scratched a note in his notepad. Enter. Oh, I should have gone to the left. Oh, well. Enter the Eyrie. Its walls... It's without an apostrophe. Walls and floors were cracked with disrepair. He wondered what had become of all the government credits paid to the building's owner. He made a note on the state of the building. Wait, can I go out? More graffiti written in another language. Martin couldn't make it out, but he made a note. Oh, okay. So just making notes. Devils was the name of the prominent should have no I before the E. Street gang, infamous in District 7. Martin made a note. Martin noted the woman smoking next to the no smoking sign. So there's a lot of bad things here. Martin approached the officer. He seemed to be keeping an eye on the surveyor. Move along, nothing to see here. Oh, okay. All odd, all 3s or 4s. Strike up conversation. All odd, all 3s or 4s. Okay, so let's go like at Jalmatic, of course. I forgot what we're doing. Is it communication? I don't know. That one there. It's almost all 3s or 4s. Let's reroll the 5. Yeah, that's all 3s or 4. Doesn't matter if it's... I'm interpreting it, okay? And let's see if it does the interpretation correct, the way that I'm thinking. All 3s or 4s means it's all either a 3 or a 4. It could technically mean all 3s or all 4s. But I'm interpreting it as all 3s, all rolls are either 3 or 4. So I'm going to keep the results. Yeah, it worked. Yippee! I interpreted it correctly. Martin slipped under the building awning next to the officer and said, "That poor sucker stuck out in the rain." The officer seemed keen for some distraction, and Martin plied him with subtle questions. His boss had sent him down here after getting a call from the VOA to provide security for the surveyor from Titan Industries. VOA and Titan Industries, interesting. Martin wished him well and made note of the information. Martin noticed the surveyor surveying the Eyrie. Go all even, all 3s or 4s. Let's go, all 3s or 4s. Yeah, we'll do the same thing. Change 1 to an odd number. Hopefully all 3s or 4s. Oh no, hopefully it's fine. Reroll the 2, please. Oh no. We failed. I'm always going to go for beyond expectations because, hey, that's the theme of the jam, so why not? Martin attempted to start a conversation with the surveyor, but the man gave him a scowl and indicated to his equipment. He clearly did not want to be bothered. Okay. Yeah, that's so cool that we have all these checks and stuff. The door to the corner store was locked. Okay. Well, we have mixed success, and that's cool. I'm not save scumming because I got encouraged not to, and I also never save scum in games like this because I believe that we should live with our decisions, and that's like a primary goal of games like this is to enforce, hey, live with your decisions. As Martin stepped into the main hall, a handful of youths gathered there looked up at him. The oldest looking of them stood up from his perch on the stairs and moved towards Martin. Martin instinctively tensed and took a slight step back. The youth cocked his head slightly and smiled. He took another step forward, extending his hand. Martin, don't stress, we're here to meet you. I'll shake his hand, sure. The youth clasped Martin's hand firmly. I'm Bernard. Lucia told us you'd be coming. Welcome to the area. It's not much to look like, but it's home. Martin, but I guess you know that already. Lucia was hoping to talk to you. I'll take you up if you're ready. Let's go. Why not? Martin took in the studio. Whoa, color. Green. It's so cool. Guys, I'm really sorry. I think I am in love with this game. Oh no. Oh no. Is a judge supposed to show bias? Well, yeah, that's why they judge. Martin took in the studio, his eyes drawn to the plants. It was rare to see greenery in the city. Lucia made apologies for the rundown nature of the room. Bernard casually poured himself a cup of tea. Want a cup, he asked. Martin declined. Turning to Lucia, he said, so you wanted to speak with me? R.I.P. Benny. Sorry, the sound alerts. Oh, you can hear it very quietly in the background. Oh, I'll turn it up again. Wait, let's try again. Except I've turned it up. I'm gonna try it again from my side. So sound alerts are working. It's very quiet. Let me try and make it even louder. Gain. I'll add minutes to the play. Yeah, oof. Let me try it again. Oof. Let me try. Wait, let me try. Hello, darkness.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
No, it's fine for derailing. I'll just add a minute. I'll just add a minute to the gameplay. Very quiet still. Yeah, that's fine. At least it's audible. Wait, actually, I'll turn it up even more. Is that loud enough? Is it too loud or is it just fine? Sound alerts seem fixed, yeah. You promise not to play it every 10 seconds. Hopefully it has a cooldown. Anyway, I'll add another minute because we were just being dumb. Martin declined. Turning to Lucia, he said, so you wanted to speak with me? Lucia said, I wanted to show you our community. The hot dog's gone. Yeah, the sound alert is fixed. Exactly. Welcome in, Raym, as well. I don't know if you came, if I saw you earlier, but welcome in, welcome in. I don't know if you might have been lurking, which is fine too. I want to show you our community. This place might not look like much, but I think you see there's more here. I'm already in love with this community. Area inspection, total under 11, all above 3. Yeah, let's ask about community service. We want the highest roles, so we're gonna have to, let's use the jotter to increase our roll by 1. And it's service, I think, so we're gonna do, was it service? I think it was service, right? So we're gonna use the stress ball. All above 3. Yeah, almost all above 3. Let's re-roll the 3. Perfect. It's 5, 6, and 6. Keep the results. We're above expectations. Awesome. You keep mentioning the community here. What do you mean? Martin asked. Lucia's face brightened. Have you been to District 7 before? Martin shook his head. Not that I can recall. We come up here in the news a lot. Shootings, theft, trash, poverty. Lucia continued. They say no one should be choosers to live in District 7. It's where those who fall out of society end up, and that may be true. I didn't choose to live here. You, the housing authority, placed me here. This building is falling apart, but when I arrived in this country with nothing, it was a roof above my head, and it's become my home. I could afford to leave now. I've got a job and a little savings. Martin continued simply to listen as Lucia became more animated. But most of the folks here aren't that lucky. I've been here long enough to get to know my neighbors, and we've worked together to make something of the place in this little part of town. A community that looks out for one another. I've helped to start a garden from what was once just weeds and trash. The plants you see here are just a tiny portion of what we grow. Not many in District 7 can get fresh produce, but I believe our garden shows it doesn't have to be that way. And Bernard here helped to organize a community watch. The gangs used to sell right in front, but now they're gone. Bernard added, our biggest problem these days are the police. They don't love the idea that we look out for each other. Each other, I think, is 2 words. And there are so many other stories like this. The landlord has been absent as long as I can remember, so the folks who are handy help out with maintenance. Those of who have little income, out those in need. I do think that the monologue is a little unnatural to all come at once. It might be nice to have a little bit of tete-a-tete between the inspector and these people, to be like, and how long has it been since, back and forth. But that's just my opinion of it. It just does seem like a little bit of, info dumping about the situation. But the situation is an interesting situation, and it sheds a new light on the situation that's happening. I said situation a lot. And this light of the green nature sort of highlights, symbolical, that sort of stuff of like the life. This is the only thing that's living. I'm sure, the people who mock blue curtains, writhing in their seats right now. I'm very much a blue curtains kind of guy. You just have to get the blue curtains right. Like, it's the simple thing. Like, I don't mean to rant, but when people say blue curtains, oh, this and that, I'm like, yes, sometimes blue curtains matter. Like, sometimes they do. Meaning, like, well, it's because their real issue is with, I'm going to add another minute. Their real issue is with media teachers who gave wrong interpretations of media. They said, this is that and this is that for sure. But it was like obvious that it was wrong and it was overreaching. And that's why people said, these blue curtain theories and stuff. But in reality, sometimes the curtains are blue for a reason, but not all the time. And then the teachers that get it wrong, it's just because they got it wrong. That's the real thing. It's not perfect here, but we're making it the best we can. That's what it is at stake if this place is closed. Some of us will end up on our feet, others won't, but no matter what, the community will be fractured. She walked over to a shelf and grabbed a picture. She brought it over to Martin. I want you to have this, a reminder of the people our decision will affect. Martin took the photo. Let's bring the personal to the decision. Looked around the tiny room full of life. He turned to Lucia. Thanks for sharing with me. Lucia replied, I know it might not matter for your decision, but I want you to know how your decision will affect us. So despite what I said about the monologue being a little unnatural, the motivation behind the monologue is there. So it does make sense that Lucia would be like, here is my plea, and give out like a full reasoned plea with all, like an essay type thing with all these, Lucia might have even rehearsed it beforehand. Who knows? So it does make sense. It just did feel a little preachy within this, segment, but hey. Martin turned to leave, and Lucia asked, and the closure, is it going to happen? We don't know, Mart. We don't know, Lucia. Okay, so this is a hard decision. I know that there is a option. Twitch stream, welcome, House Sparrow. How you doing? Welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well. Settle in. Enjoy yourself here. How are you doing, by the way, today? Good to have you. The thing is, if I choose, I've got a plan to stop it. I wouldn't say that in real life. I would avoid answering. You know why? Because I don't want to give people false hope. It's better to act instead of just say, and then What can happen is if you say, I've got a plan to stop it, and then you don't stop it, this further sort of like reinforces the idea in the minds that they can't change their situation. What I would do, I'd probably do a third option saying, maybe I would say I've got a plan to stop it, but I would say, but I don't know if it's going to work. I can't guarantee anything. You're doing all right? It's night here? Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. It's sort of coming to night here. It's like 6:46 p.m. where I am. But yeah, settle in. Have a good, have a good cozy time. Pop a blanket. I don't know. Everything behind the green is grayscale. Yes, well, everything up until this point has been grayscale, boring corporate life, basically. And we're coming to evict these people. But then we see, the symbolism is that we see that there is life here. That's the symbolism. I'm just going to say I've got a plan to stop it because it seems more on point with what I would say than avoid answering. Because I would say I would love to stop it. Well, I don't actually know what if my role means that I should be as neutral as possible. I don't know, I think I'd say that, but I'd say like I can't guarantee anything. That would be my answer, but I will do my best. That's what I'd say. We tried that plan already. We've told the media. No one has shown any interest. Oh, okay. But maybe coming from someone like you, they'll listen. Okay. Yeah. Martin replied, we're going to try. You're not in this alone. Lucia smiled. If you help save this building, you'll be part of our community too. Seeing the time, Martin hurried back to the office. And I'll be honest, I picked that option because I want to, save the building. I don't care about this company. Martin arrived to the office. He shook off the umbrella. Piper was at the front desk and waved good afternoon, Martin. He gave a half wave back and mumbled a greeting. Good afternoon. After meeting yesterday, Martin didn't think there was anything to be gained from speaking with management. Oh, what is our goal again? We go to our office? Martin said about writing up his notes from the area inspection. He would still need to talk with the building owner, but there wasn't much more needed to finish up the report and issue a decision. He'd been at it for some time when he heard the door to management open and saw Julia step into the hall. Seemed like a good excuse to take a break. Okay. Martin approached Julia. She looked tired. Hey Julia, everything okay? She looked at him blankly for a moment before smiling. I'm okay. Let's meet up at the lamp after work. We can talk more then. The door to management opened again, and Dana's voice called down the hall. Martin, you're finally in. A word, please? Sure, coming. Martin called back without much enthusiasm. Julia shrugged. Good luck. Can I save beforehand? Please let me save beforehand. I don't want to fail. Martin was back in the office. Dana seemed to cower at his desk while the VOA agent loomed in the corner. You wanted to see me again? Martin said. Dana looked up. Yes, we just wanted to check in on that Avery case. Got that decision finalized yet? Martin replied, it's getting there. I completed the building inspection this morning. Good, Dana replied. The man in the corner spoke. So can you sign off on it today? This should be our top your top priority. Martin started to reply, but the man cut him off. Of course. There's a place in this government for those who show dedication. Do I care? Advancement opportunities even. We're not monsters, you are. I know all you government folk think we are, but we're just doing our part to build a more efficient government. We're paying attention to those who help bring it along. Word service, I believe. Martin replied cautiously, the Avery case is my full attention. Splendid, the VOA agent smiled broadly, then added one other thing, and then I'll let you get back to it. You'll be sure to report any fraud, waste, mismanagement, or any other potential security violations around the office, right? Martin felt his chest tighten. Could VOA be onto him and Julia? He tried to calm himself. Of course not. They had only planned the night before. This wasn't some totalitarian country with secret police everywhere. Not yet, at least, right? He had to offer some response. Of course. Vigilance, obedience, austerity. The man looked him over, then shrugged. Vigilance, obedience, austerity. I look forward to seeing that closure finalized. See, now we have established that we are in rebellion, but we're covering it up, so... Nothing more said. Martin left the office and returned to his desk. He finished writing up his notes. Decision time loomed. He still needed to speak with the building owner, but today it was the time to clock out. Martin headed to the lamp to meet up with Julia. Oh, it's called the lamp. Yeah. Martin returned to the lamp. Julia was already there. Let's go speak with Julia. A man in a trench coat and bowler hat stood opposite Julia. He stopped speaking as Martin approached. It's okay, Julia said. This is my co-worker, Martin. She turned to Martin and said, this is my reporter friend. I hope you got something good for him. I'm eager to hear what you found out. I'll do everything I can to protect you as a source, but you should understand that there's always a risk to these sorts of things. The reporter pulled out a notepad and looked at Martin. Press conference. Total above 13. Challenge all under 3. Okay, so let's try and go all under 3. Let's go for luck. Let's change our items. Let's automatically subtract 1, I believe, from each die. Yeah. And let's just take everything out, including all our clothes. Challenge all under 3. Dang, too many above 3. Oh no. Okay, 1 reroll. Please, 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 below 3. No! Below expectations. Oh man, that sucks. Martin gave a rambling account of his inspection and what he'd learned. At some point the reporter stopped writing, and when Martin concluded his account, said, "I'll see what my editor thinks." The 3 shared a drink. The reporter said he'd keep them in the loop on any publication. "Let me know if you get anything more, of course, and if it's possible for me to see a copy of your report, that'd be stellar. I know it's a risk, though." Martin nodded. He was feeling tired and left the pair to reminisce about the past. He headed out into the rainy night and to his home. Martin awoke, rose from bed, and got dressed. He would need to speak with the property owner for the Airy property, and then he could finish up the case. Okay. I think I've interacted with everything in this apartment, so I'm just going to go outside. Visit the property owner. Oh wait, I didn't change my clothes. Oh wow. Martin stepped into a high-rise lobby of Alien Properties. The company was registered in the Housing Authority's records as the property owner of the Airy. He'd need to speak with Ezra Alien to resolve the last policy task for the case. A young receptionist was dressed more for the club than the corporation. She didn't look up from polishing her nails as she said, "Martin O'Mary? Mr. Alien is expecting you. Take the elevator." Strange, Martin thought. He hadn't scheduled an appointment. From his experience, it was better to catch these property managers unaware. It seemed to be a disadvantage. Okay. Elevator, top floor. Okay, elevator. Oh, what's in here? They yell at me, elevator, top floor. Oh, it's a lion, not alien. It's literally a lion on the front. Now, this is just like a really subtle, cool detail. Like there's a transparent like window with a billboard in the back. I don't know. It just adds something. The elevator doors opened to a luxurious office. The city skyline extended beyond its wall of windows. There's 2 spaces between its and wall. Ezra a lion stepped behind, oh, that's a last name, a massive mahogany desk. Martin noticed an exquisite golden pen sitting on the desk. "Marty," the man called out. "Marty? You don't mind if I call you Marty?" What a way to infantilize, you know. Martin did in fact hate being called Marty, but Ezra didn't pause for an answer. "It's good of you to come and check in. Our mutual friend said I'm one of the few loose ends you should need to sort. Consider it sorted then, Marty. See how easy things can be?" Ezra laughed. Martin started to interject, but Ezra continued. "That Airy sure is a dump, isn't it? Glad to have that off my hands, as much as I'll miss those government credits. But all things must pass, am I right?" Another second of pause before. "So, Marty, glad you dropped by. Always a pleasure. Be safe out there." "I do have a few questions." "Oh, I thought everything was sorted." "Of course it's not sorted. But of course, go ahead. Ask away. I'm an open book." "No, you're not." Martin wanted to know, that should be to know before there, about the state of the building and where the government's money had been going if not to repairs. He also wondered how much VOA was connected to all this. He knew that Ezra would be cagey. He'd have to broach his questions carefully. I think there's either a full stop or a semicolon that's supposed to be there. Questioning Ezra. Okay, this is really fun, this dice mechanic. 3 of any kind. Okay. Schmooze. So I think it's, I forgot. Is it representation? I don't even know. Picture. Oh, I should have used service instead. Dang it. I don't even know. I can't even remember what I was doing. What thing I was using. Was it representation? Ah, man, this sucks. Why did I not do things? Why did I not make a point earlier to... Well, let's go to... Add 1 to each die. Sure, why not? You know? Put on the plain tie. 3 of any kind. Let's re-roll... Nah, this is gonna be bad. 4. Let's re-roll the 6. Hopefully 4. No, yeah, this sucked. Ah, man. Commented on the view out the huge windows. If he knew anything about the wealthy, it's like they talked about their offices. It were to get Ezra talking, but Martin found himself unable to bring the conversation to any of his questions. Ezra is too sly. Martin took the elevator back down and left the building. Ah, man, that sucks. I want to replay. Martin stepped into the office, shaking water from his umbrella. Piper was absent from the front desk, and the crowd of people rushed up to him, eager with questions. Assist them. 3 of any kind. Okay. Change items. Yeah, let's make them, try and make them all 6s, actually. 3 of any kind. All odd. Actually, let's try and make them all, okay. We'll have to go for all odd, I think. Yeah, keep those results. At least we're doing all odd. Achieved expectations. I don't think we have got achieved expectations, but also I before E, except after C, that achieved should have had the I before the E. I'm so sorry. We answered that it won't deduct points because the large majority of this is extremely readable, and it only docks points for spelling and grammatical mistakes if they hinder the storytelling in this rubric, we've been told. So yeah, no points deducted for that. He answered their questions, and after a little time they each departed feeling mostly satisfied. He still had plenty of time to work on the report. The questions even reminded him of relevant policy he could include. Okay, it was a fair success. And Piper's place was assigned, soon to be home of the housing authority's new virtual oh, they're replacing her with a virtual office assistant? Of course. Was anyone safe? No. And we're going to be fired for this, and that's fine because screw this company. He had everything he needed. It was time to finish the report and finalize the decision. Martin learned a lot from the situation, even if there might still be questions. He wrote up a summary of the OBO budget analysis, arguing that closing the IRA will not save money. Tried to summarize his thoughts on the budget analysis, but found he didn't grasp it well enough to say anything of substance. Turned to write out the results of a property inspection. Write favorably about the residents. He focused carefully on crafting narrative of the unique space and the government subsidy it helped create at the ARE. Of course, this was a model case study in how government programs could benefit communities. This is really good. This is really good. Oh, that's why it's called a bureaucrat's judgment. We are the bureaucrat making a judgment on the lives of the people in this building. He reached a section on other considerations. He thought about what to include. VOA was heavily involved in all of this as well, including that would make any closure decision look deeply biased. Yeah, include it. He had the bulk of the report complete. I think that was the right thing. Had I read that correctly? Including it would help our case. He had the bulk of the report completed. Now it's time to write up his conclusion and a finalized decision. He poured. Which way would he go? Maintain the IRA contract, of course. It made a clear case for why the IRA was a net good. Even if VOA ultimately found a way to overrule him, he wasn't going to be the one to evict them. Of course, I'm trying my best. Turned to writing the conclusion where he would lay out his rationale for it included. Consider what was the best style. Finalize it. Oh, okay. All above 3 or 3 of any kind. I forgot what I'm good at. Communication, I guess. At least I remember which one I'm using. Communication. Communication. So this one adds 1 to all dies, but then like, yeah, so we do that one, hopefully getting big ones. All above 3. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. All above 3 and 3 of any kind. It's all maximum. There we go. What a roll to do in a final roll. Crazy. We exceeded expectations. Yippee. That's perfect. Martin felt confident that he'd written up a clear and concise conclusion. Report was finishing at time to clock out. Management of VOA wanted it submitted. Nice. Yeah, exactly. Love it. He took a deep breath and stamped the document with his adjudication seal. He looked up. It was getting dark outside. There'd been no sign of Julie today, and with Piper gone, the office was somber. The reporter had asked him for a copy of the report. It was one thing for him to leak everything verbally, but to provide the report itself was almost certain to link back to him. I mean, I am. I'll make a copy. He was already in deep. Why stop? Yeah, go full on. Made his way to the office exit, dropping the finished report in his manager's box as he passed, and he stepped outside into the ever-present rain and returned home. Martin awoke, rose from bed, and got dressed. Another day of work, assuming he's still at a job. It is coming to the end of the hour, but I did talk a lot, and because I'm talking, it takes longer to finish a game, so I might just extend the timer a little bit more because I did do a lot of rambling. And this is around an hour. It seems like it's just finishing up, so I think it makes sense to include. This is just all roughly an hour, basically. Martin headed out into another rainy day into the consequences of his choices. Martin had done... Oh, it could end here. Yeah, I think it just like 1 more minute should be fine. His report withstood for a time, but too many powerful forces were arrayed against it. Julie's reporter friend informed him that his editor had declined to publish, fearing backlash from the government. The residents were evicted and the building demolished. For his insubordination against VOA, Martin was quickly terminated. Martin found himself jobless, then moneyless, and then homeless. Oh no. But in the time he delayed the closure, he'd gotten to know the residents of the area more. I mean, I prefer that, to be honest. I mean, idealistically, it's better. They did what they could for one another under the harsh rule of the new government. One night, as he huddled around a campfire with Bernard and some of the others, Lucia approached looking ecstatic. She held onto the small red tomato and said, "The first fruit from the vines we planted in the alley of Bell Street." Bernard carefully sliced it up, handing a sliver to each of those gathered. It was hardly a bite, but it was a reminder to Martin and each of them that life could still grow in the city, and that one day with enough care things might get better. Completed ending 6B of 8, the smallest fruit. Wow. Exceeded expectations on four tasks. Achieved expectations on 1 task. It should say 1 task. Oops. Here we go. Timer up. It should say 1 task, not tasks. Performed below expectation on 5. So we're actually mostly below. 19 out of 33. We achieved expectations in general. Okay. The Bureaucrat's Judgment by Caleb Rubison M. for the RPG Maker 2025 Game Jam. There's credits at the end. Additional SFX. Yeah. Claps all around. Font Yomogi. Nice. That's a nice font. It's a good readable font. Fictional work. Any resemblance to our world is a tragic coincidence. Oh my goodness. That's such a... I love that. It's great. All other graphic sound designer, Caleb's. Oh wow. My goodness. I mean, yeah. It speaks for itself. It is a very specific kind of game. Okay. Let's judge this game. I'm going to try and judge it as objectively as possible because I am aware that this is a game that is like made for me. And yet again, we are employed by judges to judge based on what we think is a good game. But let me be clear. I have a very wide appreciation for different kinds of games, you know, like Inscription, Slay the Spire, even Minecraft, and lots of different types of games. So this is a specific game that hits close for me, but like I consider among my favorite games in all different types of genres. I have my weaknesses, of course, but like I am a generally well-rounded gamer, particularly for indie games made by small teams. So, but I will still try to feel objective as possible in my judgment. It's kind of funny to have to say that about a game that's entered, but it just so clearly fits my preferences that it's hard to ignore. Luckily, in round 1, 2 judges will judge this entry, so it won't just be me. But I hope that it's clear to anyone that at the very least this game is extremely well polished. And has serviceable writing at the very least, but the writing affected me quite a bit. So at the very least, I think it's quality, you know. But when appealing to me as a person and what I like to see in games, this one checks a lot of my particular boxes. So I'll try and keep as fair as possible in it. I think some people know that about me. Alrighty. Um, all in all, if I am to sum up the message of what I think this game sort of implies, and there's lots of different endings, so they probably the full gamut of all the different endings will describe the picture in full. We got the sort of ending where we had, anti-capitalist intentions or anti-over control of the capitalist system, intentions in mind. But we failed on a lot of our checks, so we had a sort of average middle of the ground. It said ending 6B, so there must be a lot of endings. Unfortunately, I cannot play it more than once to see how it differs, sadly, because in games like this where choices matter, a lot of the appeal is being able to replay and see where your choices mattered. But I have some idea of where it mattered. For example, if certain I would guess, but I can't be completely sure, but I guess if it was ending 6B, that must be there's at least 6 endings or more, and each ending, well, at least ending 6 has 2 parts, A and B. There could be more than one ending that has an A and B. It could be all of them, it could be just 6, so that's the very least that I can judge about the endings. But at the very least, making a choices matter game with lots of multiple endings, even by the minimum 6 and implied 7 if ending 6 has 2 variants. There could be more. So it's 7 or more endings. Very, very impressive. Yeah. At least from a technical standpoint. Emotionally, the themes resonate with me. I was engaged the whole time, and I might even go after the stream and go and try all the different endings, because this is my jam. Engagement score and judging is a very subjective one, so I have to be subjective in my engagement, whether I personally was engaged, maybe giving a little leeway as to how the general public would be engaged, but at the end of the day, I have to sort of judge from my personal bias in terms of whether I was engaged. Anyway, all that to say, this entry was hot. It was great. Theme. Okay. Going category by category. Theme. Absolutely on theme. So on theme that the central mechanic was designed around whether an attempt would be below expectations, or would be below expectations, beyond expectations, or meeting expectations. And the endings depended on these success levels. I can't really ask for much more. Yeah, to be honest, that might be one of the best things about this particular entry, is that it nailed the theme, I feel. Gameplay. The choices matter structure is probably the best I've ever seen in an RPG Maker game. That I might actually say that. I don't think I've seen a choices matter structure. I've seen similarly good ones and maybe even more complex ones in Renpai games and other visual novels made in other engines. But as for an RPG Maker game, I think this is the best choices matter structure I've seen. That had to do... Sorry, I will give a plot point at the end of that. The choices probably best I've ever seen for a visual, for a narrative, an interactive narrative game made in RPG Maker. An interactive... Well, I say that because actually I did think of one. I did think of something like Ebe. Or maybe even Omori. So games like that. But they're big, massive technical games with a lot in it. This was a small 1 hour long game jam game with an impressively large amount of meaningful choices, each having a success, failure, and neutral option, judged against dice rolls, and implementing equipment bonuses to those dice rolls. This is all a custom system, while clearly inspired by other games such as, Disco Elysium, D&D, and its ilk. Maybe not those specific games, but games like it. Tabletop RPGs. But implementing it custom within the engine in a way that felt really natural. Honestly, might be the best of its kind I've seen in the engine, saying a lot for a game jam. Alright, engagement. That includes storytelling. The story told was very well written in my opinion. Not overly flashy, but the points made were very clear. I was a big fan of the story, and in my experience, visual novels like this, or narrative adventures, live or die on the basis of their storytelling. This one told a moving story about a building, inhabitants being evicted for what I saw to be unfair reasons, but there is room to either roleplay or not about supporting capitalism, crushing capitalism, if you want to. It gives that freedom. I thought it was an extremely maturely told story with a lot of nuance. Yeah, that was great. Presentation. Very impressive amount of custom tiles, if the credits are correct, that are created by one person or modified for this event. They are very consistent, a unique style, and the music gels well with it. A very striking style that is consistent in tone, except for maybe the toilet flushing deal. But that's not a biggie. Polish. No bugs that I found. Here we go. Alrighty. Oh, well, I think it's safe to say anyone who watched this, I was impressed by this game. Thank you for making this game. I will probably follow you in itch.io, and this is the end of the recording for A Bureaucrat's Judgment. Keep making games, you're awesome. Bye.